Hey everybody, welcome back. Kim Vassar. I thought I would do a video just on nutrition. How do you eat to lose weight, to raise your metabolism? I always get asked this question a lot about diet, metabolizing, fat loss. So let's think about what are the rules about the food. Basically, the biggest thing is about your diet is just think about getting a faster burning metabolism. So adding muscle mass to your body, huge in the exercise part of it. The faster you get muscle mass sitting on your body, the faster you are at burning more calories at rest. So muscle mass just sitting here is gonna burn more fat. So workout, that's the big one, right? Cardiovascular, obviously, is gonna burn fat. You'd be at 60 to 85% of your maximum heart rate, means that you're running, not walking. You have a rise and fall in your chest. You're breathing all the way down to your rib cage, not just an easy walk. You sustain that for 25 to 30 minutes, you're in that medium heart rate. That's when you're burning fat. So number one, you're laying down muscle mass. Number two, you're doing cardiovascular. That's the exercise part. But the diet part, you can also eat smart to burn more calories. Protein, let's talk about it. Protein is a metabolizing thing to eat. It causes more calories to burn just to digest it. Energy calories. Your body has to really work on protein to digest it, to take out the nutrient, and to eliminate the waste. So this is why you feel more full when you eat a piece of chicken or you eat eggs instead of just eating toast. So protein is huge in the diet. When you eat, you always want to eat a protein with a carbohydrate. So proteins, let's define what proteins are. Proteins are any kind of meat. That would be fish, that would be red meat, that would be turkey, that would be chicken, that would be pork. Of course, there's fattier proteins and healthier proteins, leaner proteins, but all of those are protein. Nuts and seeds, those are also proteins. Those are fattier proteins. You want to limit the amount of fatty proteins that you eat. For instance, almonds. 8 to 10 almonds is one serving of protein, but that could be 300 calories right there. So do you really want to expend, and a lot of that is fat calories, do you really want to expend that many calories on just 8 nuts? It's not going to get you very full. So you have to be really wise with the nuts, but it is a rich fat and it's also a rich protein. So those are your proteins. Okay, wait. There's dairy proteins too. There is milk products like cottage cheese, yogurt, even milk. Cheese would not be considered a protein. It's high in fat, it has carbohydrates, and the protein count is very low. So I would count cheese as a fat. I would say it's a healthier fat, but don't count it as a protein. Count it as a fat. If you're a vegetarian, you would be looking more towards tofu, like a soy product. When you're looking at tofu, you want to make sure it's the highest amount of protein, the lowest amount of carbs, because all of those are not created equal. You're looking at the Greek yogurt, you're looking at the cottage cheese. So that egg, and a lot of vegetarians don't eat eggs, so if you don't eat eggs, then you're going to have to be really looking for some protein powders that would give you a little bit more supplement of protein. It's going to really help you metabolize and burn more calories to get more protein in your diet. So protein powders are not all created equal. Some protein powders are made to gain weight. Some are made for people that are on strict diets and they need more nutrient. That doesn't mean they're low in calorie. That doesn't mean they're high in protein. So you need to look at the calorie or the informational list on the back and make sure you get a really high protein and a low carbohydrate. So for instance, 20 plus grams of protein, below 6 grams, 6 and below, there's lots of protein powders out there like that, between 110 and 120 calories. You need to stay right around there per serving so that you're getting a metabolizing low calorie protein that you can lose weight and it'll metabolize quick for you. So those are your proteins. Protein is huge for building muscle mass. Protein breaks down and turns into amino acids, which is the building blocks of muscles. And so you need your protein. It's going to help you metabolize and gain muscle mass. Every single time you eat, you want to eat a protein with a carbohydrate, because all those energy calories that you're burning to digest the protein, you can add the carbohydrate and it'll just burn the calories in those carbohydrates, just digesting the protein. So it only makes sense, it's more a metabolizing way to eat. There's two different kinds of carbohydrates. There's simple carbohydrates and there's complex carbohydrates. Complex carbohydrates are fruits and vegetables. Think about it, anything that grows on a tree or comes out of the ground. Fruits and vegetables, pretty easy. So things I would add to that also would be lentils and beans. Lentils and beans, I know you think they're a protein, and they do have protein in them, but it's so low. If you look on the back of the labels of beans and proteins, they're gonna be really high in carbohydrate, like in the 30s, and really low, under 10 in the protein. So if you're leaning on lentils and beans for your protein, it's gonna be really hard to maintain your weight loss. And so I want you to really think about that. If you were not a vegetarian, you're gonna count those beans and lentils as a complex carbohydrate, not as a protein. Proteins for East Indian diets, I have a lot of East Indians where I work, and so I try to steer them to tor and moom. Those two lentils have the most amount of protein in them. I still really want them to add protein to that meal, but those are the two lentils that would give them the biggest bang for their buck for the protein grams. So say you had a meal with that, you'd still want to add like a Greek yogurt or a cottage cheese or a tofu to that to bring the protein count high enough when you add your vegetables to that meal. So everybody else that is not a vegetarian is going to count their lentils and their beans as a complex carb, okay? So you could put your cheese in there too. Put your cheese in that complex carb. You can eat, so what I'm saying with the complex carbs is you can eat those carbs all day long. You just want to add a protein to them. But treat the beans and the lentils as a complex carb. Then, so all day long, every single meal, you want to do a protein with a carbohydrate. You're going to couple those together because that's going to burn more calories as you eat it. Simple carbs, you're only going to want to eat those in the morning, like for breakfast or for lunch, like before 3 o'clock, because simple carbs are super easy to digest. They turn into sugar, and if you don't get up and move around, they just store as fat. So you want to eat those in the day when you're more active. It only makes sense, not in the evening. So dinner is going to look like a meat, a vegetable, and a fruit. Maybe a dairy product, but it's not going to have bread, rice, pasta. It's not going to have that in dinner. That's not the most efficient way for your metabolize and burn calories. You're going to want to put those in the morning or early afternoon. That's just a smarter way to metabolize your food. The other way to metabolize your food quicker is to eat smaller meals and eat more of them. So you want to break your fast in the morning, get up, break your fast, breakfast. Okay, get your metabolism moving. In the night, you've been sleeping, everything slows down while you're resting. So in the morning, you get up, you break your fast, you eat your breakfast, and then you want to eat every 3 hours, max 4 hours between meals. Your brain acts exactly the same physiologically as if you were starving in another country where they're starving, there's not enough food. People live a long, long time without food because their brain tells their body, hey, you know what? Turn this food that we're getting into sugar and store it. If your body's in storage mode when you go too long between meals. So you're going to be really strict about eating every 3 or 4 hours. So instead of eating 3 meals a day, you're going to eat 6 meals a day. If you eat breakfast and you're not hungry again until 2 o'clock, then you know you ate too much breakfast. So your next meal, you're going to pare it down a little bit so that you are hungry in 3 hours. So you just need to get your body trained to metabolize the food. It's going to go in, it's going to metabolize, and you're going to be hungry again in 3 hours. That is the most efficient way to eat. So recapping everything we just said, you're going to eat every 3 hours. You're going to get up within 1 hour of getting up in the morning. You're going to break your fast, eat your breakfast, and then you're going to eat every 3 hours around the clock. It's just like building a fire. You keep putting the sticks on the fire, and the fire keeps burning. And when you stop putting the sticks on the fire goes out. So we don't want our fires going out. So you're going to eat a protein with a carbohydrate every single time you eat, okay? That burns more calories. So the last thing about this is that we want to drink our water. So a lot of water is, our muscles are 70% water. So you could be dehydrated, you could be really toned and in shape. And if you were dehydrated, your muscles would look loose and not full. When you're hydrated, properly hydrated, you can see all the lines in between your muscles. So you're hydrated, the muscle comes up to the tight against the skin. You're taking your nutrient and the water's flushing the waste out. You're not retaining any water. If you don't have enough water, you're dehydrated. Your body's trying to pull water out of anything and everything it can and retain it. So hence you get bloat. So what your body needs just to be hydrated, half your body weight in ounces of water. And you're like, oh my gosh, I can't drink this much water. Well, start slow. So if you're not drinking that, even close to that, start by drinking a glass of water, 8 ounces with breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And do that for a whole week. Before you drink another thing, you drink 1 ounce, or 8 ounces, 3 times. Then next week, you do that and add 1 glass. So now you're drinking 4 glasses. Do it for a whole week. Next week, add another one, okay? So give yourself time and your body will adjust very quickly to that hydration and you'll get thirsty. Your body wants it, but it'll learn. It'll learn just like the guy starving, across the world is learning to store his food. Also, your body is going to suck every bit of water out of anything it can and hang on to it to survive. So you're just going to have to train your body that you're going to feed it every 3 hours and you're going to give it enough water so that it can metabolize and act appropriately like that. So basically that's it. You're going to eat every 3 hours. You're going to eat protein and a carbohydrate every single time you eat. You're going to eat simple carbs before 3 o'clock and you're going to drink all your water. So that's it. In a nutshell, how to metabolize your food. Okay, good luck.